internet. Welcome into IMHO. I'm Kelcey. That is John Roser.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. So, John Roser.
Kelcey Wright Johnson.
I spent the last week of my life watching Squid Game on Netflix.
Oh, I got to get to that next. I just finished up a series yesterday afternoon that I was watching, but I got to get to that next.
Okay, Squid Game is so good. Like, it's very morbid, but it's very good.
Yeah.
And because this week is when the NBA preseason has began, I decided, hey, I think it's time to morph my two worlds together. So here's the question of the week. There is 530-ish NBA players in the league right now, ready to go. In Squid Game, there's about 500, 450 or whatever players in the games. So we're playing a game of Squid Game with NBA players, but instead of like what happens to the players who are out in Squid Game, they're gonna survive. They're just gonna be kicked out. So
Yeah.
let's go with, we're gonna go down each game that they play in Squid Game. You know, the first one is red light, green light. You got to pick an NBA player who you're choosing. You're putting your money on. Who you going with?
James Harden.
Oh, why?
There's nobody better at slowing down and stopping than James Harden. That was actually tested scientifically. It said he is, when they did all the, the measurables and everything, they do all that kind of stuff at combines now and all that. They said he is elite. His athleticism is not crazy, obviously, but the one area where he is elite is deceleration.
Wow.
The guy knows how to slow down and stop. And as you know, we've seen James Harden. If he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he just kind of also likes to stand there. So I think he'd be perfect at this game.
Okay, I went kind of like the opposite way with this one. I was going to go with Derrick Rose because of how quick his first step is. Because there's a certain amount of time that you have to get to the finish line. And so if you're slow at, like going from a stop to a start, you're not going to make the finish line, you'll be out.
Right, but you also said you can't move. Like red light, you can't move.
No, you can't. You got to stay
That's the issue. Derrick Rose likes to eat candy. A lot of sugar. Think it's very difficult to stay still. That's what I went with. I thought about LeBron James too, but the issue there is guy's got a lot of energy, a lot of nervous energy, like me, bites his nails all the time. Mm-hmm. There's some anxiety there. I was worried about that. Another guy I had on that list, Luka Doncic. Luka also fantastic at slowing down, and we can't forget slow-mo.
See,
I'm not looking at the speed. I'm thinking of red light, green light.
You need a little bit of speed, though, because there's a time limit.
But yeah, right. But you said in Squid Games, like, if you don't stay still, like, you die.
Yeah, well.
So, I mean, like, I'm thinking, like, I need guys that can actually stay still.
I went with Rondo, too. That was my runner-up.
Okay. I've got Rondo in here for something else, though.
Okay, number 2, Tug-o-War.
All right.
Remember, if you're watching at home, Squid Game, I'm not going to give anything away, but they're like children's games that you play.
Yeah.
So Tug-o-War is the second game. I'm going with like brute strength here.
Zion.
I had Steven Adams.
I've got Adams on here. Zion.
Okay.
I think also the difference with him as opposed to like Steven Adams, lower to the ground, he's not as tall. Mm-hmm. So I think he'd dig himself in. Mm-hmm. Another name, the second name that came to my mind was Yusuf Nurkic.
Because?
He's like a gigantic Serbian. I'm not messing with that guy. That guy's got to be strong.
Okay.
He like 100% has to be strong.
Okay. That's a decent one.
I'm not playing tug-of-war with that guy.
I'm not playing tug-of-war with any of them, if we're being completely honest.
That's true, too.
Okay. Number 3 is a game of Hop-Scotch, but it has a little twist. It's like some memory, some like maneuvering. You got to be smart, but you also got to be able to like hop, 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 hop. Who are you going with?
Chris Paul.
I had Chris Paul for this one, too.
This is Chris Paul's event. There's 100% this is Chris Paul's event. Chris Paul is like always like the shortest dude on the court, but this dude is super smart. Knows where everybody's supposed to be, knows every situation of every game. And the other thing, too, with his offense and his scoring, the guy knows how to – it's not like he's like super quick anymore as he used to be. That guy knows how to get to every spot he wants to get to on the floor.
Who else is really good at getting to spots and making space for himself is Steph Curry.
Yeah, he is.
That wouldn't be a horrible one.
No, you're absolutely right about that. I also had Rondo in this, too, just for the memory part. Rondo's an insanely smart player.
Okay.
Insanely smart player. When he was in Chicago and they played the Celtics in the first round, the Bulls went up 2-0 before injuries ended up getting them. But and the Celtics came back and won the series. But it was because like you go look at like Rondo, he is sitting there on the court yelling every single play the Celtics are running, knew everything they were doing out there.
That might be a good one then.
Yeah,
memory wise.
Rondo's a really smart player.
Okay, we are not going to do the marble game because I felt like that was very like by chance. You're just like kind of guessing how many marbles are in someone's hand. So the last game we will go before we go overall is, I don't know what they call this because this is a Korean childhood game, but they have like a cookie there's a shape in between. You got to like carve the shape out without breaking the cookie. So I feel like it takes a lot of like focus.
Precision. Knifing. Kyrie Irving.
Because?
You watch the guy dribble a basketball into traffic and everything and keep his handle all the time. I mean, that guy, you want to talk about precision and being able to cut through people.
Okay.
Also, everything he does with one, he's not like strong one way or the other. He can do everything equally as good, dominant hand and not as dominant hand. It's insane. He, as Bill Simmons calls him, he might be outside of Michael Jordan. He's probably the most coordinated basketball player I've ever seen.
Okay. You might call me a homer for this one, but I went with Ja Morant.
That's good.
I feel like he's...
Ja can knife you up.
But he has like agility. He has like... He thinks ahead. So like if you're carving one little part of the star or umbrella or whatever shape you get, he's like already looking for the next one. He can be slow and methodical. I liked Ja for that one.
But Ja has not been in a lot of life or death situations.
No, we said there's no death
in the
here.
NBA. There has to be. It's not real Squid Games.
No. It's just in or out, and he's been in play-ins.
I'm going with Kyrie. Kyrie been in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Saw him make the game-winning shot. The reason the Cavs won the Finals. Kyrie Irving, and so he's been in that situation. So I like Kyrie in that spot.
Okay, let's go real quick. Overall, we've done like each game. You got to pick one player. I'll even give you two if you have a list that you would want. Like you have one player for all these games. Who are you putting your money on? Who's on your team?
Chris Paul.
Because?
One, he finally needs to win something. And the other, I know, that was rough. I know. He won the Western Conference last year. He did win that.
That was uncalled for.
That was a low blow. I've already been on mean tweets for talking about Chris Paul. This is just one more. Chris Paul, I just think it seems like a game you got to be insanely smart at no matter what. And I think Chris Paul probably checks off most of these boxes. I could see him being great at red light, green light. Tug-o-War, look, I mean, if you're going against Zion or somebody, it's going to be tough.
It's not one-on-one tug-o-war, if that makes it better. Because I know you haven't seen the show. It's like, it's a group. So he can have stronger people behind him.
I think Chris Paul would know exactly where everybody needs to be in the tug-o-war line. Okay. Yeah. And then when he needs to be precise, I mean, Chris Paul absolutely knows how to knife up a defense, too. I'm going with Chris Paul.
All right. Mine is someone that I actually haven't mentioned, and I'm going with Jimmy Butler simply because he is an absolute dog, and I just feel like he will get things done.
And he probably would kill other people to be able to win.
Yeah, he'd push. You know what? Hop-Scotch, he'd be like, I don't even need you in the front. He'd push them off the ledge. Bye.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
real quick, because we're running out of time. Someone you would not want on your team. The one person you're like, do not come on my Squid Game team. I'm going Pat Bev.
No, he's a dog. D'Angelo Russell. No, Karl Anthony Towns. Both Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns.
Cool.
Yeah.
That was this edition of IMHO/Squid Game. I don't know what's happening here, but that's our opinion of the week. We'll see you guys next week.
I'm sorry, Chris Paul.